So this is the lecture on the periodic table, the introduction to all the content that you need to know for this virtual unit. Really the two questions we're going to answer out of this presentation are why does the chart look so darn funny and why is it useful to us? Those are the two important things we need to know out of this. Now there are other arrangements of periodic tables, whether they be circular, Benfey, pyramid, levels, or stairs. But we've settled on this one because it is the most efficient way to get the most information out about all the elements in the periodic table. You're never going to hear me use the word rows. You're never going to hear me use the word columns. We use the terms periods to describe elements going across the periodic table, and I use the word groups to describe elements going down the periodic table. Now, there are really only a couple different flavors of elements. There are the metals, and they are divided by this division line, and then there are the nonmetals on the other side. The metals are to the left. You can remember this because there's some celebrities that you know are definitely metals to the left, like gold, silver, copper, nickel, cobalt, and iron. And to the right, of course, are the nonmetals. These green guys right here, we call them the metalloids. The top left-hand corner is hydrogen. It's not a metalloid, but it definitely can behave both like a metal and a nonmetal. Back to the metalloids one more time. Remember, metalloids also behave a little bit like metals and nonmetals too. Alright, now, there are families of elements that are groups of elements based on similar chemical properties. There are the alkaline metals, there are the alkaline earth metals, the transition metals, the chalcogens, the halogens, and the noble gases. Now, the chalcogens, these guys we don't refer to very often. It's primarily the halogens, the noble gases, the transition metals, alkaline earth, and the alkaline metals. Now, there are these intertransition metals. We don't work with them too often because they're very radioactive. We have a name for them. These guys down here, they're called the lanthanides and the actinides. We call them the lanthanides and the actinides because they follow lanthanum and actinium on the periodic table. Now, if we were to take them, let me go back one second. Now remember, if you look at the periodic table, it goes from 57 to 72. That means that these series should be inserted between hafnium and lanthanum and rutherfordium and actinium. Now that would make our periodic table way too wide. It would be a little too ridiculous. So, the transition metals we don't talk about very often.